Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at how to visually understand these Euler rotation values inside the 3D view. Now, in order to do this lesson, you will need to go under File, User Preferences, and on the File tab, make sure that Auto Run Python Scripts is enabled. Because we are going to be using drivers with scripted expressions, the Python script is going to be used. So this is a requirement. Just do Save User Settings after you check this. Go ahead and close this. Now go ahead and click on this object and make sure that it is set on XYZ Euler. Now press the 7 key to go to your top view. Do Shift C to place the 3D cursor in the center and go ahead and zoom in. Now do Shift A, and over here we're just going to add a circle. Make sure that the fill type is set to nothing, and here it's 32 vertices. Now press the Tab key to go into edit mode, press the S key, and go ahead and scale this in kind of like this. Go ahead and click on this vertex. Now do Control I to invert the selection, do X, and delete all these vertices. Now click on this vertex again, press the E key to extrude, park this over here, do Shift S, and do Selection to Cursor. Now press the Tab key to go back into object mode, do the middle mouse button to rotate your view, kind of like this over here. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and go to the Modifiers tab, and over here, what you want to do is choose a screw, and in the steps, you're going to type in 360, enter, and over here in the angle, just type in 10 for now. So here you can see we can visually represent angles with this technique. So if you change the angle, this is what it's going to show. So what we're going to do is simply take the Z rotation values from this axis over here and inject them into this field. It's very easy. All you have to do is right click over here, do add a driver, and then do manually create later. It will become purple. Now in order to inject the values over here, what we have to do is actually open up a new window type and switch this to the graph editor. I'm going to actually bring this down a little bit more. Now what I want you to see over here is that when we select this object over here, right, this is the name of this object. Now here, in order to use drivers, we have to click over here and choose drivers. Notice that the name of the object appears over here. This is what the graph editor is showing, that you are currently working with the currently selected object. So you can always visually look over here for the name of the object and match it over here. Now what I want you to do is now click on this plus sign and just expand this over here. Now you have to actually click this to get to this panel, and now click on the drivers tab. Go ahead and scroll all the way down. Now by default, a variable will already be set up for you to use. You can actually X this out and set it up again to have a better understanding of this. Just click on add variable. Now over here, because we are interested in the rotation, we're talking about transform. So here you're going to do transform channel. Go ahead and just select this. You can see that here we can copy the location, rotation, and scale values from any object, right? Now, right now we're dealing with Euler rotations, okay? When we are dealing with quaternion, we actually have to use this. So we're going to take a look at how to use this when we are working with quaternion. So right now what I want you to do is click on this eyedropper tool, and of course click on this empty. So here what we're going to say is that we want to get the Z rotation values from world space and store them in this variable. You can call this a variable anything that you want. Now in order to use this variable, you have to make sure that this is set on scripted expression and type in variable. Okay, so that's basically what's going on over here. The Python script is getting executed here. You can perform math functions in here if you wanted to. Anyways, go ahead and now just put this up over here and click on this empty. Now you'll notice that when we rotate on the Z, how these values are getting injected over here. So what this thing is really representing is the Z ring. That's all that's going on. Okay. Now what I want you to do is click over here and rotate this on the X. So this will lift up this guy over here. So what we're going to do now is expose the X ring. So go ahead and click this, do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel. Because we've duplicated this object, this is what it's showing. Notice that it matches on the graph editor. So this means that now when we're looking at this information over here, it's really about this duplicated object. So here we're just going to say that what we want really is the X rotation, okay? Now over here we're going to switch this to X, and here on the Y rotation you're going to type in 90 and enter, okay? And make sure that here on the screw you click on flip. This is simply to flip the normals, okay? Now we're going to go to the constraints and do copy rotation, and go ahead and select this empty and just turn off the X. So you'll see that this is how it goes. Now what I want you to do is go to the materials over here and click on Neo. Over here you're just going to double click and type in X to name this. Of course we're using the cycles renderer, so what we need to do is go ahead and go to the node editor and actually turn this off. Go back to 3D view. So now we can set the color. So let's go ahead and change this to red, okay? Now what we're going to do is click on this object, and over here just latch onto the X, and over here click this 2 to create a copy of this, double click, type in Z, enter, and change this to the blue color, right? So remember, this is just the ring system, okay? So now when you go ahead and click on this and press the R key 2 times to rotate, notice that how these values are being projected back on to this plane, okay? So we haven't done anything magical over here. These are the actual values coming from this object. But here you can see visually how the object keeps track of how much it has rotated inside the 3D view. Again, the way this is being done is going back to the original starting rotation. So we can do that by simply doing Shift A and expose that original starting rotation by adding an empty and doing arrows and pressing the S key to scale. Remember, we already talked about how this concept works. So now when you click on this object and compare it to its original starting rotation, meaning that when we do Alt R, this is how the object is based on its coordinate system. Now when you press the R key 2 times, this is what's going on, okay? That's all this is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is expose the Y ring. So go ahead and do Alt R to reset the rotation. Here we're going to rotate on the Z, and let's actually position the view like this. Rotate here on the X, and now I want you to go ahead and rotate on the negative Y. We're going to put this over here, a copy of it. So go ahead and click this, do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel. So here we can see that this is a copy. This is what this is showing. And over here we're going to say that what we want is now the Y rotation, okay? So let's go ahead, go to the materials and click on 2, double click over here and type in Y, enter, just to name the material, and now just change this to a green color. Now of course over here on the modifiers we're going to change this to Y first. Go to the constraints, do copy rotation, go ahead and select this object over here, and over here we're really just interested in the Z, okay? Now what you're going to do is press the 7 key to go to your top view. Now press the tab key to go into edit mode and press A to select everything. Now this is really important because we have a copy rotation already active on this object, okay? You can see that this object is rotated, meaning that the origin point for this object is rotated because of this. So when you rotate this by 90 degrees, you have to keep that in mind, okay? Now of course if we want to rotate these two vertices and this selected edge on the origin, we have to switch this to 3D cursor. Now when you Press the R key to rotate, look on the header to rotate by 90. Press the R key to rotate, press the Control key down to snap to the 2D grid. And over here, we're just going to rotate by 90. Now let's go ahead and switch this back to median point. Press the Tab key to go back into object mode. So now when you click on this, press the R key 2 times, you can see that how this entire system is actually working. Now what I want you to do is do Alt R to reset the rotation, and here on the Z value, type in 45 and enter. Now click this. This is really important. You can see over here that this is radians, right? And here Blender's converting that into angles. This is why we had to understand this idea behind pi, the value of 1, and 360 degrees represented by the circle. This is how it's being done with a unit circle. Okay? So that's how that entire idea works. So what I want you to do is click over here, do Alt R to reset the rotation. What we're going to do now is simply expose the rings. So now you can click over here and actually close this. Now make sure you do Shift C to place the 3D cursor in the center. Press the 7 key to go to your top view and go ahead and zoom in. Now you can just do Shift A, and over here we can just add a circle. Same thing, fill type is nothing, 32 is fine. Press the Tab key to go into edit mode. Press the S key to scale this down. So this is going to be our Z ring. Let's do Alt E to extrude vertices only. Right click to cancel. Press the S key to scale this. Now press the A key to select everything. Press the 1 key, go ahead and zoom in. Press the E key to extrude. Right click to cancel. Click on this blue arrow and just bring it up. Now press the A key to select everything. Click on this blue arrow and just bring it kind of like in the center. It doesn't have to be that perfect. Now press the Tab key. Now over here, let's give this the same color as the Z axis. So go to the materials. All you have to do is latch on to Z. Now let's create the Y and X. So we're going to do Shift D to duplicate this object. Right click to cancel. Press the Tab key to go into edit mode. Press the S key to scale this down to represent the Y. Of course, in edit mode, we have to press the 3 key to go to the right view. Press the R key, press the Control key down, and rotate this by 90. Now press the Tab key. Over here, we're going to latch on to the Y material. Go ahead and now let's do the X. Do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, press the Tab key to go into edit mode, press the S key and just scale it in. Of course, press the 1 key this time, press the R key, press the Control key down, and just rotate it by 90. Now press the Tab key to go into object mode. Over here, we're going to latch on to the X material. Okay, so this is your Z ring, Y ring, over here, and X ring. Now here, what we're going to do, of course, is go to the constraints, and here we're going to do copy rotation, and let's, okay, now this is the tricky part. Okay, so here we've got the original starting rotation that's represented by this axis, but really want this object, right? So this is empty. So when you click on this and click on this eyedropper tool, make sure that when you're hovering it, it says empty. See, it says empty, plain, stuff like that. Make sure that it shows empty, or you can come in over here. This is a little harder. Anyways, click on this so it shows empty. So this is the Z ring. So we know that, okay, we don't want the Y and we don't want the X, and make sure that says copy rotation. Click over here, do the same thing. Let's do copy rotation. Click over here and let's go find the empty. Over here, we're going to turn off X. And of course, this one we know this is the easiest one, just to copy rotation. Click over here, click on this empty, and all of these need to be checked. Now let's test it out. Click on this and press the R key 2 times. Now you can see that how the ring system is working and how those values are being projected back onto that plane. Okay, so that's how this concept works internally. So what I want you to do now is go ahead and save this file. So we're going to do File, Save As, and save this as a rotation concepts 12.blend. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take this thing that we've created and really just turn it into a widget so you can attach this to any object or bone and understand how this idea of Euler rotations work based on the coordinate system an object is using. So here we're going to be using parent-child relationships and what you understand about world space and local space. So to do this, go ahead and click over here, remove the location, click on this, remove the location, click on this circle and remove the location. Click on this, press the shift key down, click on this one and this one. And here we're going to do Control J. This will just make it one object. Now, of course, we're having this object selected. You're going to press the shift key down and click on this larger axis and do Control P. This is because now we can click on this and press the R key 2 times and set this up to any coordinate system. So in the same way, we're going to click over here on these rings, press the shift key down, click on the Y and the X, zoom out a bit, press the shift key down, click on this larger axis, do Control P, and create that parent-child relationship. Okay, so now when you click on this, press the R key, basically now positioning the rings. So now what we're going to do is click on this smaller axis, press the shift key down, click on this larger axis, do Control P, and create that connection. So what this means is now when we look at the ring system, we have to make sure that this is on local and local. Click on this, make sure that this is on local and local. Click on this and make sure that this is on local and local. Okay, so now when you click on this, press the R key 2 times, this should work. And what I want you to do is basically rotate it kind of like this. So now we have to fix these guys over here. So to do this, click on this, press the shift key down, click on this one and this one, and now click on the circle over here, do Control P, and set up that parent-child relationship. Okay, now click on this and make sure that this is on local space and local space. Click on this one, do local space and local space, and of course this one is not going to have anything. Now we also have to fix this in the graph editor. So go ahead and now open this back up, go to the graph editor, go to drivers. You have to click over here and open this up, go to drivers and simply just scroll down and switch this to local space. Click on this, switch this to local space, click on this and switch this to local space. Okay, now click over here, do Alt R to reset the rotation and press the R key 2 times to rotate. Now you'll notice that everything's misaligned. Now the reason for this is because of the way the parent-child relationships were created. So you know that all you have to do is click this, go over here and just click over here and just do it again to refresh. It'll snap back. Click over here, do refresh, click over here, do refresh. Now when you do Alt R to reset the rotation and actually close this up, now when you press the R key 2 times, you'll see that this works over here. Okay, now we can click over here, press the R key and move this whole thing anywhere that we want. So that's what we wanted over here. So here we're going to simply go under File, do Save As, and let's save this as Rotation Concepts 13.blend. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.